between content creators and journalists is evolving rapidly in the digital age, as traditional boundaries between the two professions blur. This transformation is highlighted in the discussions and case studies from the recent publication, Content Creators and Journalists, Redefining News and Credibility in the Digital Age. The book explores how content creators and journalists are learning from each other, particularly in the realms of audience engagement, storytelling, and navigating the complexities of a media landscape rife with misinformation. In recent years, influencers and digital content creators have moved beyond just being entertainers or personal brands. Increasingly, they occupy the news space, delivering information to large audiences, often those who distrust or disengage from traditional media outlets. This shift is most evident in how many young people now turn to TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for their news, rather than established news organizations. Figures like Dylan Page, known as the news daddy of TikTok, are prime examples of this new wave, where information is presented in a more personable, accessible, and often visually engaging way. However, this rise of newsfluencers has created tension within the journalism industry. Traditional journalists argue that the rigor of fact-checking, ethics, and accountability that define their profession are often missing in the world of content creation. Yet, content creators are pushing back, questioning why journalism must remain confined to legacy media models. For instance, Beast Bihar, creator of the popular Under the Desk News TikTok channel, emphasizes that storytelling through digital platforms can be just as impactful and credible as conventional news outlets. The book also delves into the ethical dilemmas content creators face. Without the institutional oversight that traditional journalists have, content creators must balance audience engagement with credibility. This often leads to a self-imposed discipline, where creators recognize that failing to fact-check or provide accurate information can quickly erode trust and damage their brand. Yet, this self-regulation varies widely, with some content creators operating with less concern for journalistic integrity. At a recent roundtable discussion organized by the Knight Center for Journalism in the Americas and UNESCO, influencers and journalists shared experiences and ideas on how the two professions could collaborate. Both groups agreed that they have much to learn from each other. While journalists can offer rigorous standards of truth-telling, content creators have mastered the art of engaging with audiences in more informal and relatable ways. This combination of storytelling styles could redefine how information is delivered and consumed in the future, especially among younger audiences who are more inclined to follow creators than journalists. Case studies from around the world reinforce this notion. Charity Ekezi, a Nigerian TikToker, uses humor and creative videos to challenge misconceptions about Africa, reaching a broad audience that might otherwise avoid traditional news sources. Similarly, Enrique Anarte of Spain utilizes TikTok to engage people with journalism on issues like LGBTQ+ rights, making hard news more accessible through short-form, mobile-first content. Another major theme in the book is the role of content creators in the fight against misinformation, especially concerning critical topics like climate change. As mainstream media continues to grapple with how to cover the climate crisis effectively, content creators are stepping in to fill the gaps. They are uniquely positioned to speak directly to younger audiences who are often disillusioned by traditional news outlets, using social media to debunk myths and provide clear, concise information on environmental issues. The publication also highlights the growing importance of media and information literacy in this new landscape. With the rise of influencers as major news sources, there is an urgent need for both content creators and their audiences to develop critical skills in assessing the credibility of information. In this context, UNESCO and other organizations are working to empower digital creators with the tools they need to responsibly navigate the challenges of producing ethical, reliable content. The future of news may not solely belong to traditional journalists or content creators, but to a hybrid model where both work together to meet the needs of a digitally savvy audience. The book argues that collaboration, rather than competition, between these two groups could lead to a more engaged, informed public, equipped to tackle the complexities of a digital media ecosystem dominated by rapid news cycles and the ever-present threat of misinformation.